If you had a nurture in your life, you should want to give it back. If you had love in your life, you should want to give it back. So I think it's all about giving back.
As a youth, I had missed out on being a child. And, I was being an adult my entire life, and my foster mom at that time was telling me, "Hey, you're not an adult. You don't have to be an adult here," and which allowed me to be a child and experience the rest of my childhood.
Today we're going to learn about an agency that focuses on finding and supporting foster parents for local children in need. Join us as we talk with Marnie Allen of Community Attention Foster Families. Come on.
So our main goals here are to recruit, train, and support foster parents.
So who does the organization serve? Where are we talking about? Charlottesville?
So Community Attention Foster Families is partnered with 3 local departments of social services. We work with Albemarle County, Charlottesville City, and Greene County. So foster parents don't have to live in one of those counties. They can be in our region, but the children that we serve only come from those 3 localities.
Now there's a real strong emphasis on trying to allow children to stay in their communities. That's so important. Why is local so important?
Right, so our tagline is Foster Local. We think it's very important that children stay in their community. It's incredibly difficult to come into care. It's a trauma in and of itself for them. Even if they're in unsafe situations, it's still leaving something that's familiar. And so the more that we can maintain familiar surroundings for them, the less traumatic it is for them. If they can stay in the same school, be able to stay on the same t-ball team or soccer team, attend the same church, anything that we can keep consistent for them is only going to help them feel more comfortable in an uncomfortable situation.
Well, and there are a lot of reasons why children need foster care, and sometimes just for a short amount of time, but talk a little bit about why.
So abuse and neglect happen, and sometimes the children that come into care, their parents just don't have good support systems. They don't have networks of people to support them during a difficult time, and they need some help. And so that's what we're here to do, is provide a home, a safe, nurturing home for their child to be while they work on what they need to work on so their child can come home.
For me personally, I think it's really important to work with the birth family and to create sort of like an extended family where we're all working together with the goal of reunification. I was a foster child when I was 6 years old, and I'm 60. So that was a long time ago, and I can to this day remember how traumatic and scary it was going into foster care.
I'm a foster parent because I love parenting. I love children, and I love nurturing. After I took the training and I seen that a lot of kids lived in trauma and misfortune and a lot of other stuff, it hit my heart. And I said, okay, I want to be there to do something, to make a difference in somebody's life. I can't change everybody, but I can help somebody.
Children deserve their families, right?
Yeah.
We all love our parents, and I would venture to say every one of us has had a struggle at some point in our life. And if you don't have a good support network, that struggle becomes untenable sometimes.
Right.
And so we want to create a space for families to do work so that children and parents have each other. We want them to celebrate each other and take joy in each other. And that's what we hope to do, is to be able to put supports in place to go from a struggle to being able to enjoy being a family.
And one of your other main goals is to really work with foster parents, train them, let them know what to expect. Talk about the different ways that you support them.
So we actually work with 2 kinds of tracks in terms of training.
Okay.
So we know that kids do better with people they know. So that's called a kinship approval. And in those situations, the person is identified, the child would be placed in their home, and then we would come in and do training specific to their situation. If you decided you would like to foster and you called me and you said, hey, I'm thinking about being a foster parent, What do I need to do?
Right.
The first step would be to come. We have information sessions held monthly, and if those don't ever work, I do individual sessions as well, as it's important that people get the information and understand that we are about reunifying children with their families. If you hear my spiel and decide, okay, yeah, I'd like to know more, I think I'd like to proceed with this, I would come do a home visit. I don't want people to get worried. I'm not doing a white glove test. If I could transport you to my home, you would instantly feel better.
Yeah.
We are not white
Right.
glove testing your
Right.
cleanliness. We simply want to make sure that your house meets basic health and safety standards, and that you actually have space. I need to verify that you actually have room.
Right.
And then you would take a 27-hour training.
Okay.
And so those are offered 3 times during sort of the school calendar year. And then we do offer a day training during the month of July, which is great for teachers,
Right.
coaches, empty nesters.
Right. And so what do you talk about in the training? What goes on?
So we talk about trauma, a lot of trauma. All of our kids have experienced trauma, abuse, neglect, what trauma does to the brain, how to help parents understand that the behaviors that children show are because of their trauma, not because they're trying to be bad. We talk a lot about being part of a team. We talk about the importance of taking care of yourself, right? If you think about what the airplane tells you, you have to have your oxygen first before you can help anyone else.
Right.
And as rewarding and fantastic as being a foster parent is, it has its challenges, and there can be hard moments, and you need to make sure that you're at your best.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, it becomes even more difficult for you and to meet the child's needs.
I had a really bad anger problem at a young age, which caused me to get into a lot of trouble and overreact in situations that were probably not as serious as I thought they were. And I had a foster mom that, pushed me to get past my anger by taking time to help me evaluate situations at the particular time that I was upset. And so that was very helpful to me throughout life. And so handling my anger is probably one of the greatest things I've learned to accomplish through foster care.
I found the struggle in foster parenting is not knowing a lot about the children's situation. And I think what got to Sean was we got not behind him, we was beside him. And we held his hands and we told him he can do it no matter what happened. So when he was playing his violin, he wanted to make sure he got chair. So he just kept at it. He played every day, and the weekends he always picked up his violin. And it was a big treat because we all sat around and we was his audience. And I think that made him feel real good on the inside, because as a family you do need one another.
Watching children learn to trust the world is pretty incredible. And so people need to be aware that we want you to work with the birth families, and we also want you to always have a relationship with the child in your home, right? We don't want them spending time in your home and then creating more loss for them, right?
Right.
So we want you to maintain a relationship, and one of the best ways you can maintain a relationship with that child when they're able to go home is by having a relationship with the birth family.
Right.
Right, and so that is an incredible reward in knowing that you helped a family heal.
Yeah.
And you helped a family be able to stay together.
And you've helped a child suddenly have 2 families.
Right.
This huge network of support.
The
as
more
opposed
people
to
that
no
love
support.
kids, whether foster care or not, right, the more people that love our kids, the more successful they're going to be in life.
Right. And one of your mottos, I think, is you help us support our kids and we will support you.
Absolutely, yes,
And
we will.
that's
And you're not in it alone as a foster parent. There's a host of people supporting you.
talk about that.
There's
Talk
other
about the
foster
team here.
parents. So there's me who does the training, and then once you have a child join your family, you have a case manager that works to support you. We have 24-hour on-call, so someone is always available to support you at any day, any time. And then there's a social worker from social services who works in partnership with us, who potentially is part of the team and is supportive. The best support come from other foster parents, though.
Oh, that's, yeah, I can imagine. So what is the average length of time that a child spends in foster care?
I want to have people understand that I can give you an average, but it's
Right.
sort of meaningless because
Right.
every situation is so different, and we do have children that come in and only spend 5 days in care, and we have children that come in and for a variety of reasons that we don't have enough time to talk about, are in care much longer. The average of all of that is about 15, 16 months in care, but again, it's so specific to each
Right.
family and situation that it's hard to talk about averages. Part of being a foster parent is learning how to live in uncertainty. We don't always have the answers, and we don't always know. And so many things, the answer is it depends.
Wow, yeah.
So,
And if a child is unable to return to his parents, his or her parents, what is the next step?
So the next step would be relative placement. We look for someone who has an established relationship with the child who might be willing to open their home to them permanently. If that doesn't work, then it may go to adoption. But we work really, really, really hard whenever possible to reunite the children with their parents. And it happens about 65-70% of the time. So it's a pretty high rate, and we're very proud of that.
Even though you develop and you get attached and you grow to love them, and it's hard seeing them go, it's really rewarding to see that what you have done is help get this child back to their birth family so that they continue to have a good life.
Well, I see my folks regularly, almost like every day, and there's no gap in the love, or there's a gap in the relationship, like they missed out on the teen years, and so that experience is not there for them. But in terms of the love is genuine, and so that's always there.
I look at them as being angels, and we all need to be cared for. It's all about making somebody else feel good.